All right, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about calculating gas mileage. Something that's really important to do whenever you're comparing cars. So let's look at this. Gas mileage gas prices definitely vary depending on where you live. So look here for a moment. Where do you see is the most expensive place to buy gas? All right, hopefully you see that it is California. You can see here, it is the darkest red. They have some regulations that cause the gas to be more expensive here in California. Much cheaper here in the Gulf of Mexico, where some of the refineries are actually located. And if you want to look specifically how much it costs, you can see here, these red and green numbers on the side are how much it has recently changed. But you can see the cheapest, most reasonable place is Texas. And by state, let's see, Ohio falls right about here. $2.38. So that's not too bad. Again, these are all from Gas Buddy. Here's how gas prices have changed in the last 10 years. They are very variable, very much affected by changes in the economy, affected by weather, storms down in that Gulf where we showed where the refineries are located. Those can definitely affect the price of gas, as well as any kind of wars. I know right when we went to the war with the Middle East, a lot of times conflicts cause the prices to go way up or way down. You can see when we look at more recently, it's kind of steadily on the climb a little bit. All right, saving money on gas. Here are a few quick tips here that Gas Buddy does give us. One of the big ones that you can definitely do is change the way you drive. Mythbusters did an excellent one on here about how does your driving, if you drive more aggressive, does it affect your miles per gallon? And it definitely did. I will make sure I save that. I'm going to find that recording and put it in our class so that you can see it because, who doesn't want to watch Mythbusters? All right, other ways, find cheaper gas and find more fuel-efficient cars. It's definitely possible to find cheaper gas. They definitely vary all over the place. The further away you are from a major road like a turnpike or a big highway, the cheaper the gas will be. And on stickers, they do list the gas mileage. You can see this one's a hybrid, so it talks about electricity and gasoline. A lot of times they will have highway and city miles. Highway miles are definitely higher than the city miles for the reasons we just gave. Lots more stopping and starting when you're in a city. In the highway, you're pretty much set the gas and you go. So that should be listed on a car for you. But if not, you can always calculate it on your own, and it's always fun to calculate it on your own as well and compare it to what the actual dealer says. So let's look at this first one. Miles per gallon. Notice it is miles per gallon, which essentially is saying miles over gallon. You can see this case where you're driving 328 approximately 0.1 miles. And the gallons of gas used here was 19.3. So we try it out here. 328 miles divided by 19.3 gallons gives us 16.99 or about 17 miles per gallon. All right, try this one. Gives you the before and the after. First, calculate how many miles were driven using these speedometers here at the bottom. How many miles were driven? Good. Hopefully you found it was 358.2 miles. Now let's determine our miles per gallon. So take that amount and divide by the gallon or the amount of gas used. All right, hopefully you found that it was 18 gallons used. 358.2 divided by 18 gives us about 19.9 or about 20 miles per gallon. All right. One of the really good ways to use miles per gallon is to actually help us do some budgeting, figure out how much gas is going to cost each month. So we can do that by finding our average miles per gallon. So calculating the miles per gallon several different times and averaging it together. So let's try that here with Megan. Megan doesn't have a trip odometer on her car, but she did the actual mileage here, marked down where her mileage is. So she's going to start off here with 5,428 as her first mileage. Drove until 5,934.6 and bought 17 gallons of gas. So kind of ignore these top two parts here, but fill these bottom ones in. How far did she drive here? And then divide that by the 17 to get her miles per gallon. And then do the same thing with the next two rows. All right, hopefully you found that these are the totals. 506.6 miles divided by 17 gives you about 29.8 miles per gallon. And calculating the last two, you can see they're all about the same. Well, let's find the average. We have 3 miles per gallon listed here. So we're going to average them. So add these three up and then divide by 3. All right, hopefully you found that it is approximately 29.54 as the miles per gallon, the average miles per gallon. All right, so Megan here is going to drive 10,543 miles this year and usually pays about $2.95 per gallon. Let's calculate her fuel cost. Remember to calculate that. We want to know her total fuel cost. We can do that by remembering she's got an average of 29.5 miles per gallon. If we take how many miles she's driven, 10,543, divide by her miles per gallon, 29.54, that tells us that Megan here has used 356.91 gallons of gas. That's how much she used in a whole year. And if we know that she pays $2.95, about an average there, per gallon of gas, we could take her 356.91, multiply times $2.95, and find out that for the year, Megan had a total cost of $1,052.88. All right, so let's have you guys practice that. We are going to be calculating the total cost for Mike. We've got all of Mike here's costs that he has for his car. Now notice that some of these are monthly costs, some of these are yearly cost. It's best to kind of calculate it because we're going to calculate all of the costs. Let's just find all of the yearly cost, just to make it easier on ourselves. So fill out this chart here and find the cost per year for each of these categories, including, we're going to calculate Mike's cost for his gas. Notice we've got the information down here, just like we did for Megan. He gets about 33 miles per gallon, drives 10,123 miles. Calculate his cost. All right, so here is the chart. Hopefully you have these same categories. Car payments all the way down. Here is the calculation for the yearly cost of gas. Notice we took his miles divided by miles per gallon and then multiplied it at how much per gallon to get the total cost here, just like we did for Megan. All right, so we want to now find what is the average cost per mile to the nearest cent. So if we want to know the average cost per mile, we need to actually calculate the full cost, Mike's total cost here, and then divide by the number of miles that he's going to be traveling. So go ahead and do that. All right, so calculate that up, $5,862.58, how much Mike spent. To find his cost per mile, you take that amount, divide by the number of miles he drove. And you find out that he has about 58 cents per mile as his average cost per mile. He can use that now to calculate his costs no matter how many miles he drives in a year. All right, so let's finish up talking about some reimbursements. That's definitely another cost that comes with driving a car. So we've got Dave here, and he's got a couple different companies that he's deciding which he wants to work for. First, he's got his current employer who pays 45 cents per mile. How much would Dave get paid at his current company if he drove 459 miles this month? See if you can figure that out. All right, hopefully you found that 45 cents per mile. To multiply that times the 459 miles tells you that he made about $206.55. Let's see if we can come up with a formula to or I should say an equation to describe that, where C is the amount of money he makes, X is the number of miles. See if you can come up with the equation here. All right, here's the equation I came up with. C equals 0.45x. 45 times the number of miles, 45 cents times the number of miles equals the amount he gets reimbursed. What if we look at the second company here, his new company he's considering? See if you can come up with an equation for that one. All right, so N is the new company. The equation is $300 plus 0.25x, or 25 cents per mile. How many miles do you think Dave would have to drive at his new company to be reimbursed the same amount as he is now? Well, we have those two equations. Let's set them equal to each other and find out and solve for x. All right, here it is. 300 plus 0.25x equals 0.45x. You can see here, move all of our x's to one side. Again, good in math, not good at Jerry Springer. And we find out that our x here is 1,500 miles. Dave would have to drive 1,500 miles to make the same amount at both places. Well, remember, one of the ways we could do it, not only can we set the equations equal to each other and solve them, we can always graph them as well to see where those lines are crossing to find the point that they intersect. Here is another explanation here. Or you can see, I shouldn't say explanation, a graph describing that. We have graphed our two lines here. The blue one, C equals 0.45x. The red one is the new company. You can see they cross right there at 1,500 as the miles. Well, what if there's a third company? Suppose Dave finds a third distributor, which pays $250 per month plus 30 cents per mile. How much would he have to drive there to make the same amount he does at his current job? Try graphing it. Use Desmos to graph and come up with the equation for that new company, the third company here, and see where it crosses that blue line. All right, hopefully you found here our new company. The equation is 250 plus 0.3x. You can see it crosses right there where I have circled in green at 550 miles. You would get paid $1,000 at both companies. So that is the point where the companies would pay us the same amount, or pay Dave the same amount. All right, so that is the lesson for today. Make sure you complete your Unit 1 Lesson 6 guided notes and those practice problems on the guided notes. We will go over those practice problems in class on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday.